I'm Miss Susan from the Euless Public Library, and this is STEMtastic Challenge. Each week, I'm going to give you a challenge that you could do at home. It'll be one of the following challenge types: build, engineer, explore, and experiment. This week, we're doing an experiment challenge. For this challenge, you will be doing an experiment. In the video, we'll give you a brief introduction to the science topic and the step-by-step instructions to the experiment. Before you get started, hypothesize what you think will happen in the activity. I encourage you to do your experimenting as a family and discuss your hypothesis and finding. We would love to see your results and findings, so please, once you're done experimenting, post a picture, video, or a description in the comments or use the hashtag STEMtasticChallenge.
Every month, all of the challenges will be based on a theme. This month's theme is love and attraction. Since Valentine's Day is this month, I thought it would be fun if all of the STEM challenges had to do with love, candy, and things that want to stick together. Since last week we explored magnetism, I thought we should take it a step further and experiment with static electricity. Remember when we talked about how opposites attract? Well, the same principles apply to static electricity. Did you know that you can create electricity by simply rubbing a balloon against your hair? Did you know that the same science behind magnetism is behind static electricity? Did you know that you can move objects without touching it using static electricity? Today we are going to experiment with static electricity to see what kind of effects it has on tissue paper hearts and regular paper hearts. This week's challenge is to conduct the jumping hearts experiment to see if you can use static electricity to make the hearts jump. To help you get started on your experiment, you first need to know the science of static electricity. Just like with magnetism, to understand static electricity, you first have to know a little about molecular physics. So everything is made up of matter, and matter is made up of atoms. Atoms consist of a nucleus of positively charged protons and neutrally charged neutrons, with negatively charged electrons spinning around it. Static electricity is a stationary electric charge that is usually a product of friction. Static electricity is the result of an imbalance between positive and negative charges in objects. So this is what happens. Sometimes when you rub two objects together or create friction between the two objects, the electrons from one object goes to the other, making one object more positively charged and the other object more negatively charged. This is what creates electricity and why you can shock someone by just rubbing your feet across the carpet. And just like with magnetism, objects with a negative charge will want to stick to things that is positive. For every experiment, you first need to figure out what question do you want to find the answer to. For this experiment, we are trying to see what will happen to the tissue paper hearts if we put a statically charged balloon near it. Will they move on their own to stick to the balloon? In the jumping hearts experiment, we are trying to see if the static electricity from the balloon will attract the tissue paper and the regular paper and see if they act differently. After you figure out what the question is, you need to make an hypothesis on what will happen in the experiment. How do you think the tissue paper and the regular paper will act when it is near the statically charged balloon? So let's get started on our experiment. The materials you will need to do this experiment is one balloon, heart confetti or tissue paper, regular paper, and scissors. Here are the instructions. 1. Blow up your balloon. It doesn't have to be all the way. You just need to be able to comfortably hold it in your hand. 2. Cut up your paper and tissue paper, if you don't have any confetti hearts, into small little hearts. Keep them in separate piles. 3. Charge up your balloon. You can easily do this by rubbing it against your hair. Try to just go in one direction. 4. Place the balloon near but not touching each of the heart piles. Observe and record what happens. You should see the hearts jumping or floating up to the balloon. You may even see hearts tagging along with other hearts. For further experimenting, try the experiment with different materials like fabric, felt, and plastic. You can find this activity and more in this month's elementary grab-and-go bag, which you can pick up at the newly renovated library on Ector Drive. So that's today's challenge. Was your hypothesis right? Do you have more questions you want to test come up while you're doing your experiment? Can you design an experiment that can test your new questions? Anyways, have fun experimenting. Make sure to write down your observations and findings and discuss it with your family and friends. Also, don't forget to post a picture, video, or description in the comments or use the hashtag STEMtasticChallenge. We would love to see the new things you have learned about static electricity.